Happy Thursday. The Mariners have had a couple of scrimmages to prepare for the American League Division Series, which begins on Saturday. The Dodgers wrapped up their Wild Card Playoff Series with Cincinnati last night, winning at 6-3. The rest of the Wild Card Playoffs are going to Game 3s today. In fact, Detroit will advance to face Seattle in the ALDS after the Tigers down Cleveland 6-3. Seattle manager Dan Wilson says this week off has been good for guys who were dinged up towards the end of the season.
Much needed days for those guys, as we've talked about, pushing a lot of guys hard towards the end. Yeah, I think the day off, day and a half off was really good for a lot of guys, and especially the guys that were nursing a little bit of something here or there. So I think, in terms of that, I think we're in much better shape than we were towards the end of the season. So it's good that these guys were able to get this break. I think the bye week, you can say all you want about it, but I do think in terms of some of our guys, getting that rest was big.
Julio Rodriguez says missing the playoffs by a single game the last couple of years is motivation for he and his teammates headed into this season's playoffs.
I feel like it makes you stronger. It makes you want it more. Because, obviously, I came here in my rookie year, we made the postseason right away, and then missing a few of them, I feel like it made us hungrier as a team and kind of taught us more about ourselves and the things that we needed to do and to continue to get better to be able to be in the spot that we're in right now.
Well, we still don't have a game time yet, but Game 1 will be on Saturday at T-Mobile Park. Seahawks are preparing for a Week 5 Sunday matchup with, across the street, by the way, with the team that began its franchise the same year Seattle did 50 years ago. The two franchises, we're talking about Tampa Bay and Seattle, started back in 1976. Both are 3-1 so far this season. Wide receiver Kupp says the Bucs defense will be a strong challenge.
Yeah, I think there's some similar structures, some of the pressures and stuff like that you see. Coach refer back to way back the system that goes on. I need to study and see what he said. Went all the way back to the Rex Ryan tree of defense. But yeah, it's just they play hard. Guys are flying around. You're seeing a lot of different coverage structures and do a pretty good job of mixing things up, and it's hard to anticipate some stuff. So they present a great challenge, and they're doing it. They're playing really good football too. You see them, their rush defense. They got some guys up front. They're able to control things at the line of scrimmage pretty well. So great challenge ahead. But man, I know we're excited about it.
Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield has enjoyed a rebirth with the Buccaneers. Coach Mike Macdonald says his competitiveness will be a tall task on Sunday.
He's one of those guys that, by our metrics on the extended play, how he plays extended plays, he's probably the best in the league right now. And so that's something you have to deal with, but he also plays on time. He's extremely accurate. He's got great arm talent. And then when he extends plays, obviously he's a great competitor, and he's got a playmaking, element to his game later on in plays. So it's a tough guy to defend.
Seattle and Tampa Bay are scheduled to kick off Sunday at 1:05 on CBS. That could change, however. Wenatchee remained undefeated in prep girls soccer last night, barely. The Panthers' Berkeley Bulls came up with the game winner in overtime after two teams played to a 2-2 tie in regulation. Wenatchee, by the way, #1 ranked team in the 4A poll by the WIAA's RPI system. On the prep calendar today, Chelan's hosting Brewster while Cascade visits Okanagan. Bridgeport plays Lake Roosevelt. Quincy's hosting Toppenish. Cashmere visits Zilla. Omak hosts Tenasket. Pateros is up the Methow at Liberty Bell. Manson is hosting Oroville. On the volleyball schedule tonight, Garden City Academy is at Cascade Christian. Pateros hosts Etiat. Wenatchee plays at Sunnyside, while Eastmont hosts Moses Lake. Toppenish tackles Quincy. Ephrata hosts Sela. Cashmere is on the road at Zilla. Omak hosts Okanagan. Lake Roosevelt cruises to Cascade. Liberty Bell battles Bridgeport. Tenasket hosts Brewster. Moses Lake Christian visits Waterville Mansfield. Well, the prep football weekend actually begins tonight for the CWAC and the SCAC. Ellensburg is Panthers on the road at Grandview tonight at 7. Quincy hosts Prosser tomorrow night, while Ephrata plays at Davis. In the South Central Athletic Conference, Granger plays at Wahluke tonight. Tomorrow features the battle of 1A powerhouses in Royal, where the undefeated Knights host the undefeated Cashmere Bulldogs. That kicks off at 7 o'clock. Well, forecast looking pretty good for Eastmont to host Wenatchee in the annual Bridge of Sportsmanship tomorrow night at Wildcat Stadium. NCWLIFE will have live coverage beginning with the pregame show at 6:30. Join yours truly and Paul Collard with the call right here on your local TV station. That's a look at sports news. I'm Granstrom. Have a happy Thursday.